just realized I don't have any headphones on.
The sycamore trees.
And welcome to Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm your host, Ben Durant, and beside me is...
Oh, J.C. Sorry, he usually goes to Bryon first. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's me, J.C.
And Bryon Kazaska. We're here live on Facebook.
We're Facebook Live in it all.
And we appreciate everybody who's watching us and right now online. And if you are, share this page with other people that might enjoy it as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we each have topics. I think we each got one topic to go around.
Yeah.
And we are starting with...
Well...
Oh, we have to wait. We have to say happy birthday to
Yes.
Sar on
Hi,
Twitter.
Sar.
Hi,
Happy
Sar. Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah, we have a happy birthday. Ben was like, I got to remember to say happy birthday.
Yeah, she was on Twitter and she said, oh, today, my birthday's today.
Yeah, so this is your birthday
We got to
present.
be Kyle McLaughlin for 2 seconds because somebody wanted us to wish them a happy birthday. So happy birthday.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So every time you're here, we talk about the X-Files briefly. And I felt like since the finale did happen...
It did.
We should talk about it. And we're not going to
Okay.
take too much time. I guess, what did you think about it? What was your takeaway? Exactly what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. I really, you know what? Go to 25 Years Later, read Jenny's take on it, her recap, which we're going to continue some X-Files recap. She's going to start delving into the old mythology and doing a lot of cool stuff with that. So we're still
awesome.
going to have X-Files coverage.
Cool.
I'll say, I still liked the show.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
it was good. And to me, the best part is like that Scully basically tells Mulder that he's going to be a father again.
Yeah,
And
it's a
the
very
idea
sweet
that-
moment.
It's sweet because it's like impossible. It's like the idea that she couldn't have a child.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what the whole show was about. It was about...
I love Andy. Even Jillian didn't like it.
I know.
Yeah, she didn't like
That
it.
was a great post. By
Yeah, it
her.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But the idea that, like, do you believe in the, I forgot how Mulder started the whole thing. He basically says, do you believe in the unexplained or something? But basically the whole idea was, like, do can you believe in UFOs? Can you believe in werewolves?
Yes, but
Can you
the
believe in all
unexplained is better explained than how they explained it in that capacity. Sorry.
Oh.
Just this I agree with Eileen on a lot because I think this last one, I think they could have kind of stayed or done a movie. That was the one thing I think she kept saying is that this could have been done in a movie.
Yeah.
So
How come they, in the last 2 seasons, they've kind of given up on aliens? I mean, I guess the sun is part alien, but like the aliens were supposed to take over the world in 2012, and then they kind of ditched that whole
They ditched
story.
it. And, I loved X-Files coming back. I know we were really excited. I liked last season. I really liked this season. The standalone episodes, I think, were the best part of the season.
what this time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The standalones.
I'll agree.
The standalones.
But here, I'll move over to.
I'm trying to see if
I'll
Bryan
move over
is...
there. I'll move over
I'm fine.
Now
What?
you're not.
What?
Now now you could see you.
Okay.
So before you couldn't.
All right. So I was telling Ben, I just didn't like mythology at all.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's really what.
And I thought it was sweet at the end when the whole baby moment. And, I didn't like how Fox Mulder was like, but I was a father. I'm like, he was never a father.
But like in last season, there was the whole idea of the struggle that it broke up their relationship because of the loss of their child. So they went through all these issues, and that's what it was really about. Is like,
but they get to have one, so that was cool. I really thought it was a sweet moment. For me, the part when you saw, spoiler alert, William's head come out of the water. I don't know. To me, that seemed kind of
super soldier.
Yeah.
Super soldier.
But it was so. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. I was just like,
I mean, to me, I'd rather leave. I don't want.
You want to leave it
I don't
open?
want to end on a downer and be like, "Oh, their son was killed" and stuff.
But he wasn't really. He's like a mutant. I mean, he was he was like created by Cancer Man, so he wasn't really like a real.
I think we should continue this on another show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Anyway, we all liked it for what it was. That's X-Files. That's X-Files for you.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It's a messy.
Not unlike that's Twin Peaks for certain people.
Yeah. Any thoughts on X-Files on there?
Yeah, well, my friend Mike Truly said she's getting out of a lot of projects. She's not returning to American Gods. Yeah, I found that out. That kind of sucks.
Andy says mythology was convoluted.
Yeah.
Would have enjoyed just cases. I think that was a highlight. Even last season had great one episodes. The monster episodes were really great last season too.
I like the season better.
Yeah, no, I do. I think the season was better. It was better writing. I agree. But all right.
So I think we're starting with J.C.
No.
Each one of us.
No, it doesn't matter.
Know,
I
Brian
wrote it.
changed the
all
top.
right. Oh,
But
you
what-
changed the order.
No, I didn't. I wrote it as it was.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I wrote it as it was
Fine,
written on
we'll
Twitter.
say with Brian's order.
No, it,
Yeah.
Come on, Brian.
Oh God, I'm in trouble. No, it was just
Let's
because.
go, Brian. You're
Yeah, go yours first. We could do yours first. I'm a sharing individual.
right,
I
all
want to
right.
hear conversation. I want people to talk, and I think this one may get some people to.
Yeah. See, I think also my topic is probably the easiest because yours two are pretty heavy.
Yeah,
I
ours
thought.
are heavy. So
And I was
let's
just
start
like,
with the easy one.
Let's start with the easy one. I didn't go hardcore.
You need to take a sip of my damn fine.
Oh wait, yeah, we should all take a.
Cheers. I'm sorry that I don't have the awesome mug that they do.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the Green Mountain Cup too. Okay,
Yeah,
so now I know.
If everybody's drinking that coffee at home,
You know what
cheers.
post I did? I posted. I put in the Bookhouse Babes cup in there. I don't know if you saw it. But
Yeah, I did, which is awesome. We need to get those.
Oh, you have Bookhouse Babes?
No,
cups?
well, we will. We soon will. That I gotta chat with Amanda about that. We've been trying. We have different designs.
Maybe you can buy our cup. Ben, hold that cup up again.
Yes.
T-Public.
T-Public.
You can get that cup, and you can get our shirts.
Yeah, look
and
at the
Andy
shirts.
is
You
the
can get
one
our
that
shirt.
designed the
Yeah,
logo
Andy
there.
Bentley. Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. You're the man. The first topic.
Yeah, let's,
what am I?
let's unroll on this first topic because
My-
I thought about it today a lot.
My favorite character, and I was really, really hoping you'd come back in season 3, was Chet Desmond. I love
Chris
Chet
Isaac?
Desmond. Yes.
Wicked Games.
Yes.
Wicked King.
And didn't David Lynch direct that video?
Yeah,
One of the versions of the video.
Yes, there's
not
two-
The famous
not the
one
black
on
and
the
white
beach.
Helena Christensen one where she's
But I
like
thought-
rubbing the sand on her. Sorry,
Yeah, I saw
that
that.
it was a great video.
It
Let
was,
me tell you
yes.
something.
Those eyes.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chris Isaac is an awesome
Go, Andy.
guy, and Chet Desmond was an awesome character. And I remember seeing Firewalk Me for the first time, going, "Who's Chet Desmond? Oh, this is going to be awesome!" And then he just disappears, and we never see him again.
Yeah.
And then John Thorne's Dream Theory, which I really love.
Yeah.
Don't know where that is now, but
John
From
says it could
before.
still work.
it could still work.
Okay.
John, when I talked to John, and he was saying, well, Chet Desmond could have been this dream or this
Stay
sort
focused.
of.
Tell me about the topic. What
This
do you
is
think?
the topic.
All
This is
right.
the
This is the
topic
topic.
for
This
me.
is the topic.
And I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you this is how I feel. I'm telling you what you guys.
All right, keep going
feel.
with. All right, so Dream Theory.
So
Yeah.
the fact that Chet Desmond could have been fake, it could have been a dream. It could have been a recurring theme in Cooper's mind, because that was his case. All that stuff that happened. So we all know why Chet Desmond was there, because
Right.
Kyle MacLachlan didn't want to do it. But his character was the polar opposite of Dale Cooper. His initials were flipped. He was a man that was up all night. What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm liking stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
you can do it on your phone.
Oh yeah, I could do it on my
If you
phone.
go right
All right,
on-
no,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
distracted. Keep going.
Chet Desmond, Dale Cooper, he's a mirror image of Chet Desmond, which is really cool. So I'm like, yeah,
Dreams of Deer Meadow.
maybe he
Okay.
was this thing that Cooper just couldn't get out of his head, and he almost created, sort of like in season 3.
Yeah.
It's like this other character that it allows him to be
I want to
somewhere
yell.
else.
Chet Desmond is a tulpa. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Yes,
Well, it could be. Well,
Not
if you go.
anymore.
Well, no. If you
because I
right.
mean, see,
you could say that.
So
So
Gordon
Tulpas-
Cole,
yeah.
Gordon Cole says Chet Desmond was part of the
Blue Rose
Blue
Task
Rose
Force.
Task Force, and he disappeared. So he could have
but
been.
he could have been.
could
Tulpas
have been.
disappear.
Yes.
Like look at like Diane, like our good friend.
And John Thorne says,
Yeah.
we had him on the show not that long ago, and he mentioned how in one cut, it's a white light when he disappears, And then the other versions are like it fades to black or something.
I was going to say I don't remember him an ever bright light. I always thought it was a fade to black.
He said that he saw something like that.
No, what he said is that different people remember it different ways from when they originally
It's Mandela
saw
effect.
It.
Yeah.
So it could have been.
It's Mandela effect. Berenstain Bears. No, I'm just kidding.
Back to X-Files.
Yeah, it's a bear. It's
Sorry,
the
I'm
Mandela
sorry.
effect. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I think a part of me was like, oh man, I kind of like that idea, but now that Chet Desmond is someone real, was it a Topa? And that character he was Cooper, but he was opposite Cooper.
He was he was badass Cooper. I mean,
That's
think
what I'm
about it.
saying.
Like he
Like,
was
he's polar
Richard. He was Chet Desmond could be kind of like a Richard because he didn't put up with the sheriff's,
Yes, he would go with the fisticuffs.
with the fisticuffs. Right, he fought with his fists. He was a little, but he
stayed
brought
up all
Sam,
night.
but he kind of had like Sam as the pal, kind of like Dale has Harry, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could entertain that. I can.
Yeah,
I'm talking with Bob Angles. He said that if Kyle MacLachlan hadn't come back, it would have been the whole movie would have been
Chet.
Yeah.
So he would have.
That's
done the
interesting.
Whole,
Yeah, that really would have put a really
Wrench.
big
No, you'd have to put him. You would have had to put him in the return.
Yeah.
I mean, they mentioned him in the return, and
They
they
did.
said, he was part of the Blue Ridge Task Force. I find it interesting though, because like if you go from season 1, because it's funny. Even before he's a character on the screen, Sam Stein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dale says,
Yes.
take this to Albert. Don't go to Sam. Because Albert's more with it. Or he says something to that effect.
That was his partner. All those
Right.
things happened to Dale that we thought, but then we see it being Chet Desmond.
Right.
And that's why John Thorne's dream theory was him, he was reliving. It
Right.
was-
It was really Dale Cooper who had done it, but he relived
Yes.
it through a dream.
Right.
through a
Yeah.
dream, and he would have been like a Richard, where he was more badass. Maybe he was like, I kept failing, and it's just recurring, and now he's
Right.
building himself up, and he's
Right.
I'm like someone different.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Chet Desmond, it is a mirror. He was like a mirror image of him.
Sort of.
He would be up all night. He was badass. He was still a handsome guy.
Of course. Yeah, Chris Isaac is not bad to look at.
Yeah, he's still a handsome dude. And he kind of looked like Dale Cooper, but he was more
Well,
rugged, and he was more,
rugged and he had lighter hair and
He had dark hair, right? Black hair.
no black hair. He had brown hair.
Was it brown? Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's like
didn't-
Chris Isaac has this like brown, but he had the sweep back and
Yes,
the kind of style and
If we look at him as a person, that he's not a dream or that
No,
he was a real
he's not.
person. He
He's
was
a real
part, like we're
person.
saying, he's part of the
Yeah, he's
Blue
part of
Rose,
the Blue-
task force.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that like he's only one of the few. I think it's really only
Philip Jeffries,
Philip Jeffries,
Yep.
Albert,
Chet Desmond,
Desmond,
Dale,
and of course Cole
and Gordon,
those-
yeah.
Gordon Cole,
and
those-
then Tammy in season 3.
right,
Yeah.
So I'd like to believe if Chet was still around, he's either still in the process of doing investigation, that he's still out there,
Yeah.
kind of like Phil Jeffries,
Yes,
where he's
that's what
kind
I
of like
think,
could
too.
be in between worlds and things,
Right.
like that.
Season 4 could be
Yep,
about
come
Chet
back.
Desmond. the Desmond.
The
Chet
Desmond effect.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Instead of the return, be the Desmond effect.
Or he could. I mean,
Are you listening, David? We're giving you ideas here. Mark, come on, get to writing.
Or he could just be trapped in the red room and.
Well, that's an interesting, that's what I was thinking, because I'm thinking, okay, the ring is supposed to bring anybody to the Red Room, right? Or to unless,
I thought they had to die
Well-
first, though.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we discussed this, because I think on another show, didn't we talk about this? We said that the Red Room, everybody who was in the Red Room was dead, which is why my theory of
That Cooper-
Dale being reincarnated. Yes, I know. We're going to have yelling. People are going to riot on Facebook Live. No, but why my theory is kind of strong in that sense, because...
I am.
Okay.
I'm looking at the comments.
Okay. Turn that down.
Everybody,
I'm trying to think.
Turn
that
dead
down.
in the red room.
No, right. So everybody was dead in the Red Room. Leland, Maddie, Laura. The only people that weren't really were Mike, but he was possessed.
We don't know though. Here's the thing.
Yeah, we never know if Mike. Well, no, because he sold Harry shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the sheriff's station. He was in the pilot. He was in the hospital.
In season 2, though, he was like in bed and he seemed like he was on deathbed there. Like
well, because the medication is what
Right.
stopped
We
him
never saw him
from
again.
emerging as
Yes.
Mike.
So, should we wrap up this topic? I mean,
Well, all
anything
right.
to
What do
say
you
on that?
guys think? Who's out there? We got 12 listeners. Chet Desmond. That's it. Okay. Who would have been so good if Coop ran into him in the Red Room? Yeah.
Here's the other thing I was thinking. If it wasn't
Chris has been to Chet's been to their meetings.
Yeah, Chet's been to their meetings.
What if there was a vortex or some other kind of portal where that trailer park was?
Well, that's what I was thinking because with the dirt pile and the ring.
Yes, well, because the ring,
the dirt pile too. And
like
we saw that with Firewalk with me in the pilot. There.
Yeah.
And also where they found the body in season 3, where they found what's her name's body in that like kind of dirt, kind of like.
Oh, yeah.
That was a portal.
Ruth.
Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth.
So that and Fat Trout's, wasn't it Fat Trout's where he found the
Fat Trout trailer park?
But it was moved into it.
Wasn't the new Fat Trout trailer park? It was the old.
But because was it moved because there was a portal there? And they're like
maybe.
And we saw that he did see orbs.
Yes.
Dean Stanton there.
Carl there. He did say in Firewalk with me. I've been places.
Yes,
he has been places. Read the secret history. Carl Rod has been many places.
So he probably moved, saying, "We just got to move to a different location."
I guess. Yeah. Maybe.
But here's the thing, though, that the electrical pole there moved with him, though. Remember, like it was where the child.
That's true.
Yeah. That is true.
What's next, Bryon?
He was abducted. Yes, he was.
Log lady. He was abducted.
Yeah, it was Carl Rod, Alan Traherne, and the log lady. And I actually, there's going to be a piece. I don't know when it's coming out. I see if one of my guys was on, they could type in, "Hey, it's supposed to be." No, I'm writing Margaret's part of the Secret History, a deep delve. So that'll be coming out soon, and it talks about them, Carl Rod, her, and this Alan guy who never was heard from again.
Yeah,
a vortex very likely took Chet. Yeah.
That's a good one, Brett.
Yep. All right.
Second topic is my topic.
Let's get in there.
Okay, this was my topic, guys. I don't know if you guys had listened to these guys, the Max episode that was, what, two weeks ago?
This week.
Or was it this week? Was it this week?
Last week.
Last week. Okay, okay. Last week. And at the end, they put a little back and forth from, I'm going to use my cheat sheet. It's... from season 1, Hawk and Cooper are talking about souls and talks about the possibility that Cooper has various ways that it could be souls. Okay. So it says, Cooper asks, "Do you believe in the soul?" And Hawk goes, "Several." And Cooper says, "More than one?" And Hawk says, "Blackfoot legend, waking souls that give life to the mind and the body, a dream soul that wanders." And Cooper says, "Dream souls, well, where do they wander?" And Hawk says, "Faraway places, the land of the dead." And Cooper asks, "Is that where Laura is?" And Hawk goes, "Laura's in the ground, Agent Cooper. That's the only thing I'm sure of."
That's
so,
such a good
it's yeah. So I started thinking about that particular. I'm in the car, as I always say. I'm driving because this is Connecticut and there's lots of Court. So I was thinking about that and thinking about season 3 and thinking about Mr. C and Dougie and Richard and all these different versions of Cooper. And so, and I have not written this yet, but I have talked about how I think the Cooper that shows up in Twin Peaks in season 1 is already half of a Cooper. It's the good Cooper. It's the innocent Cooper. It's almost the Dougie Coop-like character because he's so, how he talks about, "I got to find out about these trees." And then he asks Harry, he goes, "Sheriff, what are these trees?" And he's got this innocence in this, and Douglas firs, and it's just his tone and his demeanor and his and then he talks about the snowshoe hare at the meeting at the town hall and who's the log lady, and just ways of like where he's very innocent and likable and a good guy.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the gazebo. Yeah, that's right for the pilot. But yeah. So he seems that he's already less the rough side. He's the pilot. I'll give you. He's a little bit more cohesive, but going on, he's kind of a little bit more. It seems like okay, and then he's interested in all these things. So maybe he was already a bunch of different souls.
Yeah.
Maybe he was the waking soul, and the dream soul was the one, the bad one that was in the red room, and and then we get season 3, and there's all these different types of Coopers. I don't know. That's just one.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think, guys? I'm babbling here now.
You go first, Ben, because
first, Ben.
Well, I can say the second time I saw Twin Peaks after we knew who the killer was, that Leland was the killer. That shot, you have Hawk and Cooper talking and sitting around, and then all of a sudden the music gets started, and you have Leland dancing, and first he's like crunched up, and then he kind of springs out.
Yeah.
And to me, that always reminded me of the little man who.
Yes. The man from another place.
Right,
yes.
He crunched up, and then he got bigger, and he started dancing and stuff. So I almost felt like the soul inside Leland, which happens to be maybe Bob, but I kind of like. It wasn't until the second time watching that I kind of made that connection. That like, oh, there's this dream soul, and dream soul doesn't have to be good. It could be an evil dream soul.
All right, I have to give credit because my coworker is watching. My coworker, I got into Twin Peaks, and he ended up binge watching, and he's part of the reason that I started thinking that the Cooper that came to Twin Peaks was a good Cooper. So I'm giving you the credit, Mark.
Mark, I wish I thought of that.
I like that a lot, and I do wonder if it's a circular thing. Like,
Infinity symbol.
Yeah, and what you brought up goes back to what we're talking about too. Whatever happens in the Red Room, all these weird gestures and stuff, all happen in the world, the Twin Peaks. You just got to find them.
Right.
Like you just noticed that Mike and Laura doing she grabs the vase or whatever on the fireplace. And
I didn't think about that. She
does the point. And the point is in Fire Walk with Me when she's in the pink room.
When she goes down. Yeah.
And in the red room, she points. She
snaps. It's like a snap. Yeah, they do it. Yeah.
So it's you just found another one. It's like these weird parallels that are happening in the real world.
Right.
They're almost like giving these like. It's like
clues.
Yeah, clues.
Yeah.
Probably back then clues or a vibration into the real world that you're gonna see.
Electricity.
But I do like that Jen.
It's all right. Jen, J.C., it's all
good. I do. I mean,
Lois.
When Andy is in the White Lodge, when he's kind of seeing this vision, he sees the two Coopers split apart.
Yeah.
So you do, and that's always been John Thorne, who's kind of talked about the splitting of them. So, and I want even more of that, but I do like the idea that maybe the good Cooper.
And it also bodes well with what Leland says as Bob when he's being interrogated. He says, "I know what you did in Philadelphia." So he knows of Cooper even before he got there. So this could have been a setup to get Cooper to come there, to be able to like get him into the lodge too, for whatever reason, because of the bigger picture was that Cooper had a bigger part in this, as we see from season 3. Laura may be the one, but it's him and her are attached.
Yes.
To this forever, and regardless if people thinks that he acted like a white knight or I just read Minton's the Skeleton Key, and he thinks that it's somewhat different than my very different.
Right.
Yeah, very different. I mean,
we'll have him on in a few weeks.
Yeah.
In April, he'll be on.
Yeah. So to me, it's just I think there's many ways you can look at it, but I do think it, and that the many different souls also goes with the whole Tulpa construct, because like in my theory, I talk about Cooper being Bodhisattva. When you're a Bodhisattva, you can emanate things. But I mean, who's to say that the giant didn't emanate? I mean, if Laura came down as an orb, maybe Cooper's an orb. I mean, there's you can go wide with this. Or he was created by the fireman. That's why the fireman is so he's so in the construct of what Briggs is doing and what Gordon is doing. I'm segueing into your topic.
Yes.
And what the plan was,
right?
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Before we get into I kind of. When I used to think about season 2, I used to sometimes think, is the Black Lodge hell and is the White Lodge heaven? And you can still use that.
Yeah, you can, because then the Red Room is purgatory.
Right. And if heaven is like, do all the souls come from heaven or something like that?
Yeah.
Is everybody a golden orb? Are we all
golden? That little boy. We actually saw a boy.
And he wasn't a tulpa.
Yes.
He was,
But you
so then are you saying, because then, all right, golden souls. I mean, if you're going to go with gold, because look you got Dr. Amp with the golden shovels. Yes. You got gold light emanating from death. You have the golden orb of Laura. I mean, is it a metaphor? Is it
maybe pure or something? Because it's a little boy, and we saw
that.
But I didn't see that.
But Laura wasn't pure, my friends. I'm just saying. So I mean, if you're going to go there,
but I can. The only thing I can say is she was pure at some time.
I think she was good.
And at the end, if you go from Fire Walk with Me, the angels,
she sees
that she redeemed herself. She took herself
out. But even in Light, she tried to do the Meals on Wheels. She
did. She
tried to do so many good things.
She tried to keep the dark out.
Yeah,
but
she
just couldn't.
But she just couldn't.
Before we get to the next topic, though, the whole souls, a dream soul that wanders.
Yeah,
it reminds me when Gordon Cole talks about his dream in The Return.
Yes,
and you see Cooper,
but it's
half his face.
Yep.
And who was a dreamer, and that brings me back to
Faraway Places.
Yeah, Soul That Wanders. It's sort of like, well, Dale Cooper is now the soul that wanders because he's just going from place to place to place, trying to relive this thing and try to fix something. And he's kind of the soul that wanders.
Yeah.
So if he's dead, he's like haunting everybody and trying to.
Maybe he's not really dead. Maybe he's stationary at the Red Lodge.
Yeah.
But his other is out there just reliving and Richard or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. It's just.
Yeah, I like what Michael said. He said she began pure, but Judy Bob intertwined before her birth to corrupt her. Yeah, I mean, if you go by that, Leland was corrupted by Bob and Sarah was corrupted by Jaude. If that's what you think, I'm not still convinced that Sarah, the jumping man isn't Sarah. So I don't think the jumping man essentially is.
That was a metaphor for like the evil jumping to continuing the cycle, maybe.
Yeah,
before season 3.
Before season 3, I mean, you go to season 3 and the jumping man's the fricket, the frog moth, the frog moth, but. Yeah,
Mark O'Brien.
Yeah.
I was thinking about just talking a little more about Judy. It's interesting. I was rewatching some of these shows.
Yeah.
Mr. C is talking to Philip Jeffries, and Philip Jeffries says,
"Who's Judy? Who's Judy?"
Yeah,
he gets
then
mad.
you've met her before. No, I didn't say her. You've met Judy before.
You met Judy before.
And then I'm like, so is that Sarah or like how? Then you start thinking, well, who did Mr. C or Cooper meet before that it could actually be Judy? But
yeah, I feel like Judy is not a.
I do like the idea. It's like the evil that men do.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That is the greatest evil and stuff.
And we saw a place named Judy, but I think that was just one of those things.
What Judy's? You mean the
restaurant?
Yeah, the restaurant Judy's.
But that's in another place.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to say I don't know. I'm not convinced that Judy Jaude. I mean, if it's the ancient evil, then you're going so way back. It was even before. But I mean, again, okay, let's reincarnation, rebirth. Mm-hmm. If it started at the beginning of times with the Sumerians, and then came, and then okay, this blast, because this blast also created the Woodsman.
Yeah, because I kind of saw that blast as like the ultimate evil.
Oh, it's the ultimate evil that men could do, because the men created a bomb that can decimate the face of the planet. So and
put this evil into the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thought is that, okay, if it keeps coming and coming and coming, and Bob too coming and coming and coming, then is the Red Room like almost like a swinging door of letting evil in and out, and trying to keep the balance? Because okay, if you got good, which you got the giant and I, as I call it, Club Silencio, that's what I call it, with the
Club Silencio?
Well, that's what, because it looks like it when he goes in there and he shuffles in, and it looks like Club Silencio. But Mulholland Drive, for those who
it does look like
it does a little bit. And then in somebody called it, what was it, the rumpet, the trumpet that goes up in the thing, and it's all like thing. Okay, so and then you have the Black Lodge, which I believe is the motel, is the stairs when the woodsman out front, and then the hallway, and then the motel that he gets led to. I think that is the Black Lodge. So I think the Red Room is like almost neutral territory. That's why there's both the doppelgangers and your good self in the Red Room.
This is the waiting room.
Right. Yeah. It's a waiting room. Like you're waiting to either ascend to the White Lodge and be with, Fireman and Senorita Dido, or are you going with Philip Jeffries and becoming steam in a teapot?
Yeah.
And just, you mentioned about how a hawk goes and says that, Bigfoot legend and stuff like that. So
Blackfoot legend. Not Bigfoot.
Now we're getting to X-Files.
Bigfoot legends.
Yes.
But there is all these legends and history, and it seems to be...
I think the blast is the thing that creates the gateway to allow the ultimate evil to come into our world. Okay.
Yes, the blast.
Yeah. I call when Coop crosses over to the Judyverse definitely the biggest villain now. Something a lot more disturbing going on in Part 8 to 18 than Bob ever was. Very elusive. Absolutely. And that's the argument too with a lot of people. Like, I mean, there's the corner of people that think that everything failed, that whatever plan that we're going to talk to, that we're going to talk to the plan that Cooper and Gordon and Major Briggs had failed, and that it's just done. The house goes boom and black, and that's it. It's all over. And then there's the train of thought that's Laura comes to and hears her mother calling and screams and destroys all the evil, because that's what they needed Laura to do. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it. I mean, I go back and forth too, and we've talked about this.
Tough.
I go back and
tough.
forth, like because my ultimate thing is they end up back in the Red Room.
Yeah.
And people all like, no, it was a still picture. No, it was a moving picture because you could see Cooper move.
Very slow.
Yes.
So obviously, yeah, it's in a slow mo.
Right.
It's a slow mo of the two of them. So if he ends up in the Red Room, was it ultimately White Knight syndrome, and he can't save her, and he fails at life, and and he and the plan didn't work.
And he has to redo it again.
And he has to redo it again, and that's why maybe things may change. Yeah, they're going to change because you totally went to a place and you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Which is why, yes, what year this is, which I still say, and I talk about this with Mike Nathanson when I interviewed him. We talked about what year is this, and maybe, let's put ourselves out there. If Cooper's been sitting there that long but doesn't realize that time could be like 5 minutes, could be 25 years, he may think it's still 1991 or 1990. So when he says what year it is, he's like, wait a second, am I too soon? Am I too late? Am I right on time? Why is this house owned by the Tremonts, the Chalifants, or is it...
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I almost feel like Jeffries is the same way. Jeffries is a little messed up.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think Cooper's going to get that way. He's going to get that same mentality.
And Major Briggs, I mean, when he comes back and Betty Briggs sees him, he's like, how long have I been gone?
Yeah, how long have I been gone? And he's got the old school, he went back in time at that point, the pilot gear,
Yeah.
Which happens through, this is where Secret History really comes into play, because even in those, like Dougie Milford and stuff, they get, they go back. Which is why I think Margaret is so knowledgeable about what's going to happen in the future and everything. I think that she was bestowed with like a gift, and that's, people think she's eccentric and she holds a log, but I mean,
Yep. Yeah.
It's more so from and stuff that's happened in her life. She kind of knew things. It was like it's amazing to me how knowing she was. So it's I mean, what's to say that other people couldn't feel the same way?
Yeah, and she does talk to the wood. So
yes, and Catherine Coulson, when we talked to her, said that it was not, the log didn't have a spirit.
But that was her feeling.
That was her feeling.
What was her feeling?
She felt like what we said is like we thought maybe the husband was in the log, and I think she basically said it was just a log.
Now, see, it's funny, but now that was before all this information. I wonder if, and God rest her soul, Catherine, you were brilliant, but if she was still alive and reading the Secret History and what happens, because why she thinks there's a reason she takes that log,
right?
And it's in the book. So for those that have read, but those who haven't, there's a reason. It's her husband dies and in the wood, and she goes to where Glastonbury Grove is, and this big tree has fallen, kind of like her husband, who was this bigger than life Paul Bunyan type guy, supposedly. And she cuts it, and she cradles it like they even talk about, she cradles it like a baby. So who's to say that it doesn't have a spirit to it at that point?
Right.
That's what I
think.
she
she felt closer to it. So regardless of if it came to her or not, she feels that way.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was the Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, or if it was in. I don't think it was in the first season, but I think it was supposed to be a wedding present from her husband. I thought the log.
Oh, really?
So right before he died, but this was another version.
All right, so another version. So it could have been the Secret Diary.
I think so.
Yeah. Before we're gonna go into yours.
Yeah. Do you have something else you want to say?
I was gonna say, before we get into Ben's, this is gonna be huge and blow your socks off.
No.
Everybody, hi out there. We'll just take a quick second to say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Also, Mark O'Brien, thank you for joining us. And Michael and James and everybody out there, share this link to this video. Just share it on your page and see if you can get other people on. We appreciate everybody who's been on there.
We're probably going to be on for another 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, another 30 minutes. So share it on your page. Other people you think would like it. You want to share it on Twitter real quick? We'll give you a second. You want to share it on Facebook? Go ahead. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Maybe we'll do it more often. And everybody, make yourself a cup of coffee. Buckle in, because Ben's topic is going to blow your socks off.
Don't make it.
It's going to be huge.
No, it's just a simple question. It's a good topic.
But we saved the best for last. See,
Yes,
everybody,
yes.
Thumbs up. Everybody, thumbs up. Thumbs up.
What is with the mad? Who keeps tweeting the mad one?
Who's mad?
Like, no mad. This is Twin Peaks. There's no mad. There's madness, but there's no mad.
You can't be mad.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I see Josh. Is that Josh Mitten? I think Josh Mitten's in there. I saw his face. Hi, Josh, if you're there.
I'm going to go. So,
all right, here we go.
Glenn H. Shepard on Twitter had asked us, who set the trap with fake coordinates that electrocuted Richard? And I want to give you at least some background a little bit before you guys.
Okay.
So Mr. C takes Richard to a rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he mentions that this is a place.
And it's in Montana, right? Because we find out that
it's right next to Twin Peaks.
It's got to be close.
It's real close.
Well,
because
yeah,
Jerry has. How far?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Jerry was far, though. I thought when they come to, they say they found him in like some. Don't they? Anybody remember
Anybody
out
know
there?
where Jerry,
Jerry was? I thought he was like in
found?
Montana.
It could have been the next state, but it was
Well, it could have been, all right.
Still like maybe miles away.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
A couple
I'll
hours
give him that.
away
Yeah, a
or
couple hours
whatever.
away. All right, go ahead. I'm
So
sorry
you know,
to interrupt.
Richard and Mr. C are here and he says there's a place I'm looking for, and he's saying that 3 people have given him coordinates. And
He does say 3, doesn't he?
He does say 3,
Yeah.
and 2 of them are the
Are
same, and they're at the rock.
Right.
And so, just to be clear, the coordinates that were given were Philip Jeffries gave one.
Yeah.
Diane
gave partial, so she had gotten.
But she finishes because she
yeah,
says,
yeah,
"I hope
yeah,
this
but-
helps you."
But she actually doesn't do it till after the rock.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, the order and stuff.
Right.
like
Right.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the time, he only had partial. So, and then who did I miss? I missed Ray. So Ray gave
Right,
him
Ray
when he
gave him,
gets
yeah.
killed.
What about the numbers on the arm? That was from Diane.
Right. So
Yes.
So right when they found Ruth's body,
Yes.
Yes.
they took a picture of it.
Yeah.
And right, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Right.
Diane
And
was
Diane
over-
looked over. Yeah. And then types it to him.
So, who gave Mr. C the right coordinates? So there's 2 wrong ones because Richard gets fried on the rock. Only one person gave him the right coordinates to, I believe.
So you're asking who gave him the one? So the 2.
There's 2 of them that purposely gave him the rock one to try to electrocute Mr. C.
Yeah, it was a trap, and he
Right.
knew it.
Diane gave him the right. Tulpa Diane gave him the right coordinates.
You think so?
Yes, I think because Ray was the informant for Philip Jeffries.
Yes, you're right. So he would.
So
give
they're
them all.
attached. So there's your 2 wrong ones.
Right.
There are
Both
two
Philip
right ones.
Yeah, Philip Gerard and Ray are attached.
Yeah,
right.
that makes sense.
No, not
'cause
Philip Gerard. I'm saying
I'm
Philip
saying- I'm
Jeffries.
sorry,
Yes,
Philip
Philip
Jeffries.
Jeffries.
The body was the
No,
right-
no.
The
Yes.
right coordinates.
right coordinates
Right,
because
right.
they're the ones who found it initially.
I would agree that Diane most likely gave the right ones. And
Yeah.
Because that was to the sheriff's station, and that's why when she sits down and she says, "Oh my God, I'm there," and she says, "I'm not myself. I'm not myself, but I'm going to be there. I'm there."
well,
because
as near Jack Rabbit's, and then I question whether it's the giant.
The giant changed it on him.
Changed it on him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, here's
because
the thing: you see an image of the Palmer house, and then he's swiping, and it all of a sudden goes to the sheriff's station. So he might have redirected.
He was-
him.
I'm pretty sure he redirected
Yeah.
him because he puts him in the cage.
Yes.
And what people ask, they're like, "Well, why didn't he just keep him in the cage?"
Right.
I asked that all the
And
time.
I'm like,
I
well,
wanna
because
know.
he knew. Now, see, here's where you go with Cooper having to face his other self,
Mm-hmm.
which he was not prepared for. So, and hence why we have Freddy, the green gloved master,
Mm-hmm.
that has to defeat him, and Cooper knows of him. Because for some reason, which God knows why this is, but they didn't want Cooper to face himself.
Yes, you're right.
I don't know
Maybe
why that is, and that
maybe-
would have been a
I
great thing. But I
know.
mean, but
Two
that's
Kyle MacLachlan's, that would
Someone
be
made a
amazing,
good
yeah.
point
Yeah.
we talked to why that couldn't happen.
there should always be more than one Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah, there was
Just
a
saying.
thing that they couldn't face each other. And
I know.
Someone
Right,
had to
right,
come
right,
in
yeah,
and do
that-
it
But it
for
would
him.
be
Right.
so cool.
It would have been.
No, because if he did that, he ultimately would destroy himself. I believe.
Yes.
Because he couldn't. He could. It's.
Mr. C would have destroyed him. We saw that.
I don't know if Mr. C would have destroyed him. They would have destroyed each other. It's like one would have canceled out the other. So
You're
if they,
right,
you know
you're
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
But Mr. C was so strong.
Yeah.
He was very strong.
So I want to say I think it was Diane too, but I want to give you my reasons for why it was Diane, and then
All right, go
why I think Diane actually gave the wrong coordinates.
Okay.
You're throwing a wrench in that.
Ooh.
Told you to blow your socks off.
Nah, and so the reason that she did give the right coordinates is that she would never disobey Mr. C, because she was even gonna go and kill off the Blue Rose Task Force.
That's
so
right.
to me, that
Yes.
she would not disobey him.
And she was
Okay.
a tulpa.
And
so
she was
I
a
feel
tulpa. So yeah. So she was
Right.
programmed to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So here's my reasons why Diane may have given the wrong coordinates.
Okay.
Okay.
One, Albert and Cole are showing the picture, and they purposely at first they're like kind of like doing this whole like weird conversation where it's clues. What was it?
Like
It
the
was
cat. It was something about the cat. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Tin
yeah.
roof on the
Hot tin
Yeah,
roof.
roof
Hot
on.
roof, which
cat on a
leads
hot
to
tin roof.
Ruth.
Right. It leads to Ruth. Right.
So
Yeah.
they're wearing this real code, and then Diane is peeking at the picture, and Albert's looking at her, and I'm kind of thinking, it's like, Cole and Albert setting her up to give her fake...
That's what we thought in the beginning.
Yeah, but we don't know that until because Tammy comes in and says she's been texting with somebody, but it's been going through Mexico and stuff. So that's order. I know. See, the order's a little off. But
they found out that she was texting, and they knew if they keep her close, she would take them to who she's talking to. They thought it was Mr. C.
Yeah.
Because Mr. C escaped. They had to find Mr. C. And Diane, they're like, well, Diane's our way. If we get her close to us, she will bring us to him.
Right. I do think Diane sent the right ones, but I'm giving you another...
Okay.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Here's my second and last one, why she gave the wrong coordinates.
Okay.
All right. You guys ready for this?
So she's texting the coordinates to
Mr. C.
This is after...
It was when she's sitting at the bar?
Right.
Right.
So she sits at the bar a couple times in text, but this is after The Rock and Richard
This is
gets
before
flied.
she takes the gun out.
Before she was about to try and kill the Blue Rose Task Force.
Okay.
So she texts Mr. C and she says, "Oh, Coop, I hope this works." And I thought it was interesting that, like, had she ever called Mr. C Coop?
No.
And it's funny, like, Coop to me is like
It's Cooper.
Cooper is a short, like, friendship. Like, Coop. And I hope this works. And to me, it was almost like, was she in this whole plan to get Mr. C? And so it's just funny that she would use that language. She's like, "Oh, Coop, I hope this works."
Interesting.
Unless
was it code? Was it code? You know?
Unless she thought it really was Dale Cooper was Mr. C, and she was.
She didn't though, because she could. When she sees him, she says, "That's not him."
Yeah.
To Gordon, and she said, "I'll tell you someday, but that's not the Cooper that I knew."
So it's just funny that she would say that. "Oh, Coop, I hope this works."
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It does.
That's a weird one. And I mean, she was playing. When the whole crying bit was just an act.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
What?
She had
real trauma. No, but tulpas take all their stuff. See, people forget this, and if you read more about tulpas, they are direct people that can emanate a tulpa from themselves. It's parts of themselves that they're putting in. So the memories are there. The memories are there. So anything that happened to the real one is going to be in this other one. That's why Cooper, even as Dougie Coop, he knows that all those memories he shared with Sonny Jim and Janie E, when he creates the tulpa from himself, they're going to have that memory. That's why when he shows up at the door and he's so happy because he said, "I'll come back."
Yeah,
because I was
great point.
I was like, is she? Because
and then she
Gordon
remembers,
Cole was like, there was something off
because
there.
she remembers who she was when she's in
that
NATO.
Was a trigger.
Right.
Seeing him was okay. So when that whole scene, it was a trigger of those memories. Even though she's a tulpa, that just triggered those memories.
Right.
Even though it's not really her.
Right.
Okay, it makes more sense. Because part of me was like, is she playing Gordon Cole? Is she playing the game
now,
there?
Lindsay and I have had this conversation. I'm going to blow your mind with this one.
Hold on to
you ready?
Your socks.
Hold on to your socks. I'm going to blow your mind with this one. Lindsay started a conversation on Twitter about Diane because an article came out where she talks about Diane. I am not convinced that the Diane tulpa and the Diane that we see is not Diane at all. That if you go in Cooper's head, like Chet Desmond, okay, we're going to go back to Chet Desmond, where he was created, that Diane is created, because certain things, when I was rewatching season 1 and he's talking, would he really talk to a secretary that's supposed to take his dictation down about the case? Would he really say, he would say, "Get my earplugs." He would say, "I got to find a hotel room." He would say certain things, but he wouldn't say, "I found the killer," or "I did this," or "this happened," or "it's here," or whatever.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that. And I found interesting that Diane's hair, when we see her, is white.
Yes.
When she's reincarnated from NATO, it's red, just quite like the little cassette tapes that are white and red.
That's a good one.
Just saying.
I always thought Diane was fake, but when we read the book, Diane's real.
No, I know that. I mean, and maybe at one time she was, but maybe... Is Diane dead then, maybe? Like, did Mr. C kill her off and then the tulpa could still exist and these other two are not the real Diane, and that's why she sees a double one of herself when they're Richard and Linda? Who knows? Yeah. I'm just saying, it's one of my thoughts was maybe that Diane, wasn't an actual person. She was an emanation of Cooper's self. If it's a dream, then she could have been real at one time, but if we're going with the dream...
It's a good theory. I always thought Cooper was talking before I read the book, and I like my theory of Cooper was just talking to someone.
Which book?
My tapes.
My tapes, my life,
yeah.
my tapes. Okay,
I always
that's right
thought,
because he went on a date with her in that. All right, see, I'm not taking the book. See, because I haven't read the whole book. I think I've read bits and pieces or heard bits and pieces on the audio. I haven't read the whole thing. So if I did, I probably would think different.
But I like the thought that Diane was just something to make him not be lonely, and he could just talk to this thing.
Right.
Because I was like telling Ben, I'm like, how get earbuds, and he got the earbuds like the next day. I'm like, come on. I'm like, back then there was Amazon Prime. Yeah. It's too quick.
Right.
It was Twin Peaks Prime.
It's TV.
I know it's TV, but I've kind of felt like he would just wanted to talk to someone, and it was his sort of.
He did, and it was like his. That's why I think it's like it was his consciousness. It was his consciousness just talking, and you record, and then he could listen back because he was so on. Like even like I watched the scene where he's interrogating Bobby. And he's so badass in there. Like, he's just sitting there, and he's like, and he texts to Harry, he didn't do it. And he goes, you didn't love her anyway. Let him go. And he just walks away, and it's like, yes, badass Cooper. Right. You know, like.
And was Cooper back then, like, sort of like when Dougie was seeing different stuff on the casino? Cooper in
because he's.
Season 1, 2,
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Like very
on.
Like
Sherlock. He was just always
James with the motorcycle in the eye and the whole thing. Yeah.
And then he'd be like, Harry, so how long's that been going on?
Right,
he literally knew
things. Yeah, he knew things, yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's like he just knows so much. And that's like Dougie Jones would be like, I got to go bet on that slot machine. Yeah. I got to do that.
Right. Case files.
Yeah.
And of course,
Cooper
went to the casino and it's like, I always use the government's money and always come back with a lot more money or something.
Yeah. Make sense of it. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I have more stuff. I don't know how much time we have. I can at least say about the whole killing two birds with one stone.
Okay, that goes into this last part a little bit, yeah.
I kind of wonder if the stone is the rock and Mr. C and Bob are the two birds.
Mr. C and Robert is two
no,
birds?
Bob.
No, Bob, because he's killing off Bob,
yeah. That's true.
Like, so could this have been the plan all along that Briggs and Phil Jeffries and Cooper had planned all along? It's like, we're going to give these coordinates and it's going to take him to this rock and he will...
That could be the plan.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Even if that fails, he's still going to go to Jack Rabbit's and still...
Yeah. Well, that's a good point because now here's a theory that I haven't heard too many people talk about, and everybody that's listening, think about this. If Bob is connected to Judy in a way because the mother experiment things births him from the the little eggs and the whole thing and stuff. If they got rid of Bob, would it weaken Judy? Would it weaken Jaudet? Because if they're attached, so therefore they'd have an easier time of being with Mr. C and Bob out of the way. Mm-hmm. They would have a chance to really delve into and try to take Judy down.
Yeah.
If that was the ultimate goal, because it seems like that's from Gordon's story. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
When he recalls and he says, okay, and Coop and 252 and number for completion is 10 and the whole David Lynch numbers.
Yeah, he loves his numbers.
He loves his numbers.
Yeah. No, I like the theory with the rock.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's a really...
There's so many times we keep going two birds,
one stone.
For everything, but that makes the most sense because it's physically on a rock.
Right.
It's physically a rock, and I was trying to figure out, what's the two? And then it's like, oh yeah, Bob is still within Mr. C.
But you know what's funny? I hate to say it, it says Richard and Linda, and then okay, Game of Thrones fans, let's throw this out there. Isn't it Rhaegar and it's R plus L equals J?
Yes.
Wasn't that the whole thing?
Yes.
So I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, does Richard plus Linda equal Judy? Rhaegar and Lysana Stark equals
because that was
Jon Snow. Know nothing, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow's dad.
Yeah. I just thought that was. I'm sorry. That's
pretty
made
good.
me
I
think
like
of that.
I have other points, but I don't know how we're doing on time.
No, we're doing good on time.
We got like 10 minutes. What's the rush?
Well, people are always wondering, how did Gordon Cole and Briggs and Cooper actually come up with this plan before Cooper goes into the Black Lodge? Like, was there a time...
But then they say, like, way back when they knew something was up, they came up with all this? Because Major Briggs there was the fire, and I feel like the plan must have happened before the fire.
Well, I mean, but even
Cooper got trapped
Mr. C-defied? No, he does. Major Briggs shows up to Cooper and shows him the Cooper. Remember on the piece of paper that he sees. So and Gordon comes to town. So maybe behind the scenes, Gordon and Briggs meet, and we just don't see it. And he talks about it, and he wants to bring Cooper in because Briggs is privy to all this, confidential mess. All these confidential, memos, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so he, and maybe Gordon was the one that said, I want you to bring Cooper into this because he knows, and because he knew about the Blue Rose Task Force, I believe.
Yeah.
Isn't
He
Briggs
knew
knows?
about Project Blue Book, which
Blue Book turned into
evolved into
Blue Rose,
they
right?
Closed it, yeah.
And Wyndham was, and Dale and Wyndham were partners, so obviously Dale had maybe some idea on something. So then when Briggs brings them in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would think it would happen way back then.
Can I give you my? I like yours.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So episode 26, Briggs had been kidnapped by Wyndham Earl.
Right.
They bring him back to the station. Gordon Cole hasn't left yet. He is at the Double R. I think he
with Shelley kissing
Shelley.
Wants
to,
Best scene.
Kiss one time before he.
Yeah.
But so there's time between Gordon Cole. I'm sorry. There's time before Briggs coming back from Wyndham Earl's and before Gordon Cole goes to Double R for them to talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a time where they're saying Cooper's saying to Major Briggs, Garland, and he's saying Judy Garland. And so for me, it was kind of like it could be Cooper could trigger Judy and say, "Hey, Judy," and then maybe there could be some kind of conversation between that. But there is that little window between them and the fire.
Well, that's what people for a long time thought, that Judy, before we found out she was like this evil giant entity, that Major Briggs was Judy.
Yeah.
Yes, we all thought that.
Yeah. I didn't. I thought Judy was NATO. That was my thing. I thought that Judy was NATO because NATO chattered like a monkey, and when Philip Jeffries says at the end of his scene, he says we're not going to talk about Judy, and then you see the blue monkey face and at the end of Fire Walk with Me, and then you see I thought that was the connection right there.
I think NATO, we all kind of were like, oh, is that Judy? Yeah, there was a connection there. Before season 3 happened, I think we were debating about if Judy Garland,
Judy Garland,
Garland Briggs
was Judy.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was John Thorne, that it was Laura Palmer. I like the Laura Palmer too thing, that it could be her secret identity or something. I
did. I also, because we did a Black Lodge White Lodge debate about it, and somebody picked Laura, and I picked NATO, and somebody picked Briggs. And somebody picked, what was the other one? Was it Diane? Diane, I think.
Where are these debates you guys have?
Oh, we have, and they're coming back. So they've been. John Bernardi has kind of ramped it up, and they're doing these. They're called Black Lodge, White Lodge, and we pick different topics about Twin Peaks and debate them. It's an article, and then you see everybody's debate. It's kind of like when you had debate class, and everybody had their own arguments. So it's kind of like that. It's really cool. So go to 25 Years Later site and check it out, guys. There's some really good debates.
You guys sometimes are forced to take a side, right?
Yeah, I mean, even in our behind-the-scene conversations, it's like, no, my theory's right. No, no, I'm just kidding. No, we're all very respectful of each other. Because you know what? Lynch definitely, makes the theories and people that have all these, we have all these ideas. I think he really likes to... supposedly didn't Sabrina say it? She said he listens to him and he loves that everybody likes to talk all these different things because people are going to look at something and it's going to mean different things to different people. I mean, take a painting for instance. You look at a piece of art and somebody's going to say that's crap, and somebody else is going to say that's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen, and somebody else is going to say and I think they thought this when they were painting it, or I think they thought this. So it's the same way with Twin Peaks. You're going to watch something on Twin Peaks, and somebody's going to get something out of it, and somebody's not. I tweeted a couple weeks ago. I rewatched the pilot, and I said I know 3 things to be absolutely true about watching the pilot. 1, Twin Peaks was ahead of its time. 2, if anybody thinks, and this is a pretty bold statement, but if anybody thinks that season 3 has wiped season 1's, continuity off the planet, they're wrong. Mm-hmm. It totally goes together. Mm-hmm. Infinity symbol, people. Just saying. And I said, last but not least, and this was my Kyle. Mwah, I said Dale Cooper is by far one of the best written characters for TV ever in the history of television.
Totally
and Kyle liked that, so that was nice. And so did Mark Frost, and he retweeted that, so that was cool too.
In Kyle MacLachlan, I'm only going to say this because I thought it was really cool. Portlandia ended.
Yes.
And I said how he shot the lightning, and Kyle MacLachlan liked it. And I was like, yes.
Yes. Yeah. That was a Star Wars moment. I was like, oh my God, the only thing would be better if Mark Hamill opened the door as Sam and been like, Mr. Mayor.
You had Cooper. There's a Cooper apartment buildings. And then they called the woman who lives in the cabin Margaret.
Did they really? I didn't notice that. That was the great Cherry Jones. That was great. I loved that episode. And I loved the ending where he just kind of goes up into the sky and then goes bink.
Yeah. So it was also the whole show was just about the mayor in this wacky town, and then he leaves, and then the lady in the cabin, Margaret, is the new mayor.
And Sam's like, Sam, shall we begin?
It's such a great ending.
I recorded it because I forgot it was on.
And God!
So I think I was going to watch it this morning.
And you didn't watch it? Oh my God!
Man! That's all right.
So we just ruined it for you, and we probably ruined it for anybody else. Sorry. Love Portlandia.
I think those are our topics.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Andy Bentley wrote, there was also a Planet of Cream Corn, so...
Yes, in the original Fire Walk With Me script, there was talk about Bob Engels and Lynch there had this whole idea of that the Bob and Little Man from Another Place came from a world of cream corn. I'm glad that wasn't included in the in the movie.
That's too funny.
I think that's gone too far.
Someone actually said they were muting us because we were talking about spoilers. Muting due to spoilers.
Spoilers of what?
I wish they could have muted me.
Wait,
Portlandia.
Portlandia. I'm sorry.
We're good. No more spoilers.
No more spoilers. We're not going to talk about it anymore.
And then Mark O'Brien says, yeah, Twin Peaks is all about interpretation. Everyone should have their own personal one.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just Twin Peaks could just go on and on and on and on. That's why I love I don't know. I could just watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I know that's terrible. And I just, those that are friends of the site, I just finished The Alienist. And it's coming to UK soon, maybe April-ish. So you guys have to, Whalers?
Mark wrote, the Whalers are stuck in the Black Lodge and will never escape.
Yes, they will.
Mark Allen.
Oh, yes. No, the Whalers will. Yeah, that's my buddy. Yes, they will. The Whalers will be back.
So Brian,
maybe not here, but somewhere else.
Yeah. Huh?
Can we do announcements?
Yeah, so let's do
Alienist. I was saying real quick.
Yes.
Go to 25 Years Later site. I just recapped the finale. It was last night. It's a brilliant show. If you were a Twin Peaks fan, you will love this show. It's very Twin Peaksy-ish. The cinematography is great. The acting is great. You got Daniel Bruhl and Luke Evans and Dakota Fanning. It's a brilliant, brilliant show. I said brilliant too much, but it is. It's absolutely brilliant.
Next time, I will say this out loud. Next time you're on, I will watch it. 10 episodes.
All 10 episodes. Binge watch.
Yeah.
We're going to watch. We're going to watch The Alienist now.
We'll just put it right behind us and watch it.
We can have a mirror.
Yes.
There you go. You can watch it behind me. We'll act it out.
So in 2 weeks, it'll be our 150th episode.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know why you're still doing this with me, Brian. I don't know why you're on too, Jen.
I love this. This is great.
It's a great show.
So we want to do a special show.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks for our 150th. It won't be a live show.
No.
We are going to go rewatch the pilot, but it's going to be a community rewatch. So it's not going to just be Brian and myself. We want to have some other people. And, And Jen, we're inviting you if you would like to be part of the panel.
Woo!
We'll have you on. We'll get some other people on.
Love it.
We'll talk about the pilot. And we'll put it out on April 8th, which is going to be the 28th anniversary of the pilot.
Awesome.
Crazy. And it works out so perfectly.
28th anniversary.
It's Sunday.
150. Yeah,
yes,
Sunday.
it's on
Sunday. That's that's good.
Sunday, April 8th, 1990 was when the pilot came out.
That's awesome.
We're now,
Yes.
I think Ben's an evil genius. I really feel he planned this somehow. Like a couple years ago when we started the show.
He's an evil genius.
We've only taken 1 week off, and I think one other week we actually did two
episodes.
So really we haven't ever missed a week if you do that. So how could I have planned it 2.5 years
You're
ago?
good like that. You're all about anniversaries. Ben is about anniversaries. If there's one thing you haven't learned about the show is Ben is about anniversaries.
I love anniversaries.
He knows what to do.
And we're going to have an article. Andrew is going to put together an article that behind the scenes of making of
That's awesome.
the show, of the 150th show.
It's coming out the same day our pod is landing.
Go to 25 Years Later
25 Years Later site. Yep. .com.
So you get the pod on Sunday. And you get the article on Sunday, and it's sort of like Twin Peaks came back.
Listen.
Yes,
read and listen.
Great, yay!
Yeah, very excited for that.
I am too.
Also, next week, we're going to have John Bernardi on, and we're going to be talking about his article on 25 Years Later. The Fireman brings back some memories, and it's an amazing show. I just finished editing it not that long ago. People are in for a treat.
That's awesome.
Really
That's
good.
awesome.
That's really cool.
All right, do we have any more questions before we...
Yeah, you guys, thank you. We got 84 comments.
We got that many comments. Wow.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Anything you want to throw out there before we leave? We can.
I think we got to scroll because because I don't.
I think I saw Josh Minton.
Here, I'll check on my phone.
Yeah, check on your phone.
Josh Minton's there. We're gonna have him in April. We'll have the keys to Twin Peaks. We'll have him on the show to talk about that.
Yes,
the skeleton key. Yeah.
Someone wrote. Michael Tull wrote.
Truly.
Oh,
No.
I'm not getting it. I'm not refreshing on my page.
Okay. I interpret the Judy verse, as you say, as a reality in which Laura never died, as referenced by the final dossier. Okay, I like that. Yeah. I don't know if I like that she never died though. That doesn't.
I know.
No, it's kind of like no.
Yeah, Matt C. Ryan, my favorite podcast of all time. Hi, Matt. I watch him when he does his live podcast.
Hey, Matt.
Matt's a great guy.
Oh, we'll have to do this again.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I don't know. We're having him once a month. I don't know if we want to do another live show.
We can
next month.
JC, how is it you haven't aged?
Very nice. Thank you, Mike. Mike and I went to CCY, which is from Wesleyan University when I was a sophomore in high school. So he was an artist and I was a dancer, and
cool.
We've been buddies ever since.
And Will wrote, "I forgive you because we were spoiling Portlandia."
Sorry,
Will.
I'm sorry,
it's okay. You can still enjoy. There's a lot that happens in that episode.
Yes,
like
a lot.
like
a lot.
List them off for you.
We won't list them off.
So I guess that's it, guys.
Yeah.
I think it's a great show.
You want to follow all of us, so let's do that.
Oh yeah,
you want to follow Twin Peaks Unwrapped? Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go, Ben.
You can
Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter at Twin Peaks Unwrap.
Yeah. You can like us right here on Facebook. Also, you can email us at twinpeaksunwrapped@gmail.com.
Yep.
And
25 Years Later site. There's a bunch of us. Great articles, theories. We're doing film and TV. We're not only doing Twin Peaks. We're doing a lot of other things, and it's going to be really exciting. We're ramping up. We're reviewing different shows, and we're going to get into film and music and art. We do the art life that happens with Laura and Matt Armitage, and it's just great. You can follow me, jhotch726 at Twitter. You could, I think my Facebook is kind of, my Facebook is my Facebook. But on here, you probably can find me now because I'm on the live podcast. But follow me on Twitter, and 25 Years Later on Instagram. We're on Instagram now, so that's very cool too.
It's very cool. How's Instagram?
We like Instagram. Yeah, because it's like we could post little videos. Like today, I posted to this beautiful live podcast.
Yeah.
JC, I want to also
Hi, Andrew.
I love the new design of the site. It looks
Thank you. That's thanks to Andrew and Laura and Lindsay and our
logo
guy.
Is
yes,
so cool.
Thank you.
And I like that you branded it of was it Damn Fine Television?
Yeah, we're now 25 Years Later. Damn Fine Film and TV, or TV and film.
You guys rock. I love the rollout. Andrew, I know you just joined. We love the logo. The logo is so cool.
See, look. Yay.
Yeah,
awesome.
You guys kick ass.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Just you.
You'll be back on next month. Yeah. Next month you'll be back on. And
I'll be back on.
And me and Ben, we talked about what if we did a live every time you're on? We go live.
We could go live.
I don't know.
Let us know. Let
us know what you guys want. We want to hear from you.
It's a lot of fun. It's cool to see where everybody's from. And
maybe we'll try to do a Twitter live. Maybe we'll try to do an Instagram live. Maybe we'll try to do a bunch of different lives.
Yeah, we could do the Periscope through Twitter.
Oh, there's all kinds of options.
we can switch it up. It doesn't always have to be Facebook Live. I know Facebook. I was a little nervous. Facebook got a hit in the news, and I was like, oh man, of course we're going live on Facebook, and now everybody's ditching Facebook. We're in trouble.
Like Twin Peaks Unwrapped, I can't believe they're gonna boycott us now.
I know, but luckily our fans stuck it out just for one more week just to see us, so that's cool.
This is not goes to. Oh, that's.
Oh yeah, I know you get so confused. What's this comment?
No, I like what Andy's saying. He says, "My 2 cents. Cooper never truly deals with the trauma Laura endured. This leads to Laura screaming at him at the end of season 2, then at him at the end of season 3. He again misses the point. He goes back in time to the moment of her death, not when." And I can't read the rest.
Ben, how do you make your thing scroll?
Oh, there it goes! Yay! Oh, there's Andrew saying hi. Death, not when the abuse starts. This is why he once again fails. Ooh.
Cool, Andy.
Ooh, I like that.
Make it scroll down more. I think there's a whole bunch of stuff we missed.
We missed.
Oh my
God!
No! Very easy. It's just like a tablet. Go up. Take 2 fingers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Holy.
We missed a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry, guys.
Bryon how
yes.
to use a
Next time
Apple
we'll be
computer
more
here.
technology savvy, so we can get more of your comments.
Wait, let's go. Oh my God. Okay, let's get to the end here. Oh,
Hi, Laura. What are you doing up, my dear? It's late. What? Because England's what, 6?
Will says live is great. Just give us a heads up.
In advance.
Oh, we promoted the hell out of this.
But what we will do more. Will. Something like that. See, there's my favorite podcast of all time. Oh, thank you.
All right, so that's why we didn't see all this. But yeah, we'll
It's our
go
first
live.
time.
Well, and this will always be available on Facebook afterwards.
Yeah,
You'll
we're
see
not
it
gonna
after the
delete
live.
Yeah, and this is this week's show. It's going to go on Podbean. It's going on iTunes. So if you missed the live feed, you can check it out next time. But you could hear it not live, but live.
But live.
Recorded live in front of a live studio audience.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Cool.
That was a good one.
Yay. I'm always one.
It's so funny. Tom Caulfield keeps saying, "Hey, Jay Hodge, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm fine."
How you doing?
Flirty Tom shall return shortly. Sorry.
Musik